Welcome everyone to our Wednesday press conference that we have after each Tuesday council meeting. We had a very productive meeting last night with the City Council, and I want to go over a few of the things that we discussed and voted on, and then also give the media and any citizens that are watching a chance to send us any follow-up questions on anything that we've discussed, or if you've got another question outside of what went on at the council meeting, we'll be happy to take that too. Let me start off by making a couple of announcements. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Columbus Municipal School District again. They had an upgrade to a C rating this year, which we're very pleased to hear, and know that they're just beginning to keep moving up the ladder in that area, but that's a very significant move for them, and we congratulate them. And also to point out that Cook Elementary got a B rating. I had an opportunity to visit with the students there recently. They were very excited about their rating and have been working very hard. I think these are excellent ratings coming off of the COVID situation that we've been in that has impacted a lot of students. So if you see the administrators and the faculty and staff and the students with the Columbus Municipal School District, please be sure and give them congratulations. Also, last night we said congratulations to firefighter Josh Connors for being selected by the Columbus Exchange Club as the Fire and Rescue Firefighter of the Year. We appreciate it when people that work within our fire department and police department and all aspects of the city are recognized by local organizations for the excellent work that they do. Also, there are a couple of events coming up in the area that I promised people I would make some reminders for. On Saturday, October the 15th at 5:30 at the EMCC Golden Triangle campus, they have the Angel Babies Wave of Light ceremony, which is in honor of babies that were lost through miscarriages, stillbirth, or infant deaths. Again, that's on the Golden Triangle campus, October the 15th. EMCC is hosting that. The 9th annual Loaves and Fishes fundraiser will be Thursday, October the 20th at Annunciation Activity Center from 5 to 7. The Loaves and Fishes program has been going on for quite some time here in Columbus, helping feed those in need and those who are suffering from being in a homeless situation or low income. Shout out to all the organizations that work together to bring that program for us here in the city. And again, their fundraiser is on October the 20th from 5 to 7 at Annunciation Activity Center. Another reminder that Columbus High Homecoming is scheduled. The game is October the 21st at 7 p.m. On Thursday, October the 20th at 5, there will be a parade and followed by a community pep rally on the football field. We hope people will make plans to attend. A couple of other things. The Diabetes Foundation of Mississippi is to host the Mississippi Walk for Diabetes October the 23rd at 10:30 till 4 at the Riverwalk. MUW will be celebrating Welty Weekend October the 28th. The annual Roast and Boast main event will be October the 28th through the 29th at the Columbus Fairgrounds, and the Columbus Benefit Committee and the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department will host the Purge fundraiser at the Fairgrounds on October the 28th, October the 29th, 30th, and 31st. So there are a lot of things happening in the month of October in Columbus, and we hope that everybody will make plans to attend. The council made a couple of appointments to local board vacancies that we had, and I want to congratulate the folks who were selected, and then also say a thank you for all those who've applied. And as I always encourage people, if you're not selected, for one board, don't let that keep you from applying for other positions. There are many needs within the city, and we're only as good as we are with our constituents being involved. Jerry Fortenberry was named to a 5-year term on the Columbus Lowndes Library Board, and then Chuck Bigelow and MacArthur Engel was selected to another 3-year term on the City Planning Commissions. Congratulations to all of them. There will be an appointment coming up soon for the CVB Board. that I will make in selection with Trip Harston, the president of the Board of Supervisors, and we should have an announcement on that in the coming days, very soon. Let's see, a couple of things that we talked about last night that I think would be worth mentioning again today is that Mr. Edmund Green of Property Management Global out of Atlanta has purchased the Oak Manor apartments. As you might remember, the council voted several months ago to tear those apartments down, actually because of the condition that they had been in and because of concerns of the prior owner not being able to maintain them to a livable condition. There was a lot of activities going on down there that were unsightly, illegal, and just not a healthy environment in Ward 1. And I commend Ms. Stewart for her due diligence in trying to make sure that that property is maintained in a way that is acceptable for our citizens. He came before the council last night and talked about investing between 1.2 and 1.6 million to upgrade the apartments. He has been very successful in doing this in other parts of the country, and we're excited. He also has a Columbus connection, so we're excited that he is taking on this project and look forward to seeing the progress coming in the coming days and weeks and months. The council did vote to reverse the abatement on the building and to give Mr. Green an opportunity to see if he can refurbish them in a way that's acceptable for the city. We also voted to order an additional fire truck for the fire department in the amount of $975,000. We were locking that amount in by signing the agreement last night. We have $350,000 to go towards that, which we appreciate came to us from the state. Our local delegation, led by Representative Kabar Kareem, got the money for us for that, the $350,000, and so the city will be looking to find the additional money needed before August of 2023, which is the time that the truck will be delivered to us. It will be replacing a truck that our fire chief has said that he prays each morning will always crank and run, and so we don't want to be in a situation where we are using equipment that can't be ready at a moment's notice in a situation as dangerous as a house fire. We also, let's see, the Sandfield Cemetery, which was very important. The council voted last night to begin the process of determining ownership of the east end of the cemetery, which we do not own at this point, and taking that side of the cemetery over eventually to maintain with the west side, just as we do with Friendship Cemetery. There have been a lot of concerns about the Sandfield Cemetery for quite some time. The city attorney is going to come up here in a minute to talk about what we did in executive session, and I'm going to ask him to elaborate a little bit on the legal process that we'll go through in the coming weeks and months to obtain that part of the cemetery. Also, we have with us today our two animal control officers who brought to our attention that there is a vehicle in town that has animal control written on the side of it or printed on the side of it that is not part of our animal control team here in Columbus. There have been reports that people's dogs are missing, and they've called and asked our animal control officers if they had picked them up. They explained to them that they don't do that without leaving a notice or contacting, and that actually our vehicles do not say animal control on the side of them at this time. So if you see, it's a white vehicle, I believe. Do you have a picture?
I do.
Okay. Show the color. Thank you. Here's a picture that we can show you I don't know how well, can they see that, Joe?
Yes, sir, and we can post it afterwards.
And we'll post it afterwards, but if you see this vehicle, please give us a call. You can call 911, or you can try to directly call Animal Control. There's some real concerns about the fact that the people that are in this vehicle may be taking people's pets. These kinds of things have happened in other communities before. We take it very serious.
And that says animal welfare.
It says animal welfare. Is that?
No, it does say animal control, but that was the closest.
Oh, okay,
picture
that's a
we-
That's just a picture of what the truck looks like. It's not the actual truck.
Okay.
But one of our animal control officers has seen the vehicle near their property, was not able to get a tag number, but we are keeping an eye open for this, and we encourage citizens to do that as well. Thank you all for bringing that attention to our attention. Let's see if there's anything else before I start taking questions. I'm gonna get our city attorney to come up. Oh, the premium pay, and I'll let you speak to that too when you come up. We did vote last night for a reimbursement for the premium pay that we gave to our fire and police department. It will not be a total reimbursement, it'll be a percentage of what we paid. And I'll let Jeff speak to that when you come on up. And he can also talk a little bit about executive session, and if you'll just speak to the Sandfield situation just a little bit.
Good morning. I think to start with the simple ones first. In the executive session, the mayor and city council took up 3 matters of personnel related to, first one related to an employee in the police department, and they decided to increase the pay of a reserve officer to $17.66 an hour. And then the other 2 personnel matters involved people in finance and administration. They approved the hiring of a part-time assistant to the CFO, and the increase of a pay and added responsibilities for another employee in the finance and administration department. As for the premium pay, the legislature in House Bill 1427 approved the cities that made ARPA fund premium payments before June 30 to be reimbursed up to $1,000 per employee for those expenditures, and the city made their payment 1 day before that deadline. So we're fortunate to probably recover, assuming that our application is received and it's handled as we hope, that we'll get about $66,000 or so back, which it's not nearly what the city spent, but we're grateful to get any of it back. Plus, I think it validates the legality of it, which there was a debate about whether we could or not. So let's see, Sandfield Cemetery. Penny Law, my paralegal that does our abstracting, has spent hours trying to figure out if there's a current record title owner. And at the present time, it's our belief that the last deed was from a guy named S.H. Irvin to Prince Edwards, who passed away in the 60s. And we can't find that his estate was administered or that a will was probated, so we don't know who the actual owners are, but we assume they would be his heirs or whoever they may have deeded the property to. So the next step would be, if the city wants to eminent domain, would be for us to get a survey of the property so we could accurately describe the land to be taken, and then to start a lawsuit, eminent domain proceeding in the county court, which is also known as the Special Court of Eminent Domain. We would name Prince Edwards and all of his successors and assigns, and anybody else claiming an interest. Don't know if anybody will respond to it or not. If nobody appears with resistance to it, we would expect to get a default judgment. In the meantime, in 2019, the legislature amended a code section related to abandoned cemeteries and expressly authorized a municipality to go in and maintain cemeteries that are overgrown with vegetation and other weeds and such, and neglected, and to clean up abandoned graves so we can take care of it until the lawsuit is concluded.
Is the part in question the part behind Dylan Norris or the one on the other side of the road?
Behind Dylan Norris, east of MLK.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff's suffering from some sinus issues, so I appreciate you struggling through that with the cough. That's not easy to do. Let me elaborate a little bit more on the Sandfield Cemetery situation. We have been studying this project for quite some time. We are also interested in the side that we currently own. We have been in conversations with researchers and others who are very interested in studying some of the grave sites there. As you know, many of the markers are missing from that side. We have been, there's the Ada May event that we have there, and others that the Mississippi School for Math and Science have put on there for over several years. So there's a real historic significance to both sides of the cemetery. And we are determined to do everything we can to bring both sides up to a good standard. There have been discussions about potentially fencing in the historic side. We've talked to people about potential grant opportunities for that. So there's several people who are interested in the historic significance of the cemeteries and the fact that we are fortunate to have both areas in the city, and we just need to make sure that they are being maintained properly. So that is a priority for the city. I know there have been a lot of concerns over the years. Before we found out about our ability in recent legislation to let the city go in and actually clean abandoned areas like that, we had been doing emergency cuttings in situations, and we've also had citizens who've tried to come out and volunteer to keep it clean, and we appreciate all the people who've been trying to do that over time. But we will keep you updated as we move forward on the Sandfield Cemetery situation. Are there any questions?
I have some about the fire truck purchase.
Okay.
Could you kind of just talk about some of the possibilities for paying for the balance on that fire truck that the state appropriation won't cover?
Sure. In fact, what I'll do is I'll let our CFO come up, Jim, and talk a little bit more about that, because we did talk about that quite a bit at the meeting last night. Everything from monies that we have in reserve in certain areas to letting people donate to support it. There were several options that came up last night that the city will, take a look at. But I think Jim can speak to some particular areas that we're seriously considering in the process.
So let me talk a little bit about this fire truck, Rosenbauer aerial fire truck. We have a new fire truck coming in December that's fully paid for through grants. This is a mirror image of that fire truck. Typical with just the effect of the pandemic on the entire economy. Fire trucks right now, if to order one would take somewhere between 18 to 24 months. And as the mayor mentioned, we have one unit that is on its last legs, and we needed to replace it. We have the opportunity to lock in this particular unit that's a mirror image of the one that's coming in December, and that will be ready in August. So right now we have $350,000 grant from the state. We will continue to write for grants, but the alternative for financing this is either to do it with a lease purchase type debt, or we can dip into the city reserves if we need to do it. But in any case, I think that this is just a good example of the city council being very concerned about the safety of the citizens of the city. And this is a wise choice to have this new truck. And according to the police chief, the fire chief, he said last night that if we get this second truck, we won't have to buy a new truck for about 12 years, I believe he said. So, this puts us in a pretty good situation where we're not in a good situation with the current fire truck that we're looking to replace. So we'll have some alternatives, but we'll be glad to take donations towards that fire truck, if anyone wants to make it, because this is going to be for the safety of all the citizens in the city. So.
Can you speak to the use of the fire rebate money? Is that money already obligated, or is there any way that some of that money could be used to pay it down?
Yeah, right now our fire department gets fire insurance rebate money, and it's based on the classification of and the quality of our fire department. So right now I'm going to say I think we're classified as a 3 or a 2, which is pretty high in the process. It's a 3. And this truck will simply add to that rating, as a matter of fact. But right now we get about $130,000 to $140,000 a year in fire insurance rebate. Some of that goes towards paying for a previously financed fire truck that it will be very close to having paid off. Going forward, and these funds are regulated by the folks in the Capitol in Jackson, but we need to be, they'll certainly support using some of those funds to help pay for this fire truck. In fact, if we end up going through a lease purchase type of option, the annual amount coming in will be at least equal to or more than what we need to make the payments on the truck.
Thank you. How much you referenced maybe dipping into the reserve? That's not the fund balance. That's a separate account, right?
That's a separate general fund reserve account that we have right now. Yes.
And how much is in that now?
Right now, in there is a little over $1 million.
And there's also the insurance money too.
What's that?
The insurance money.
Yeah, there's an opportunity to reduce the reserve that we keep for our health insurance, and that's something that we look at as a source also.
How much money is in that health insurance fund, and what's the minimum you guys need to keep?
That health insurance fund is at about $1.2 million right now, and we've been told by our actuarials that we need about $500,000 in there. We'll be, since it's a self-insurance situation, we'll be conservative there and probably keep double. If they say we need $400,000, we'll probably keep $800,000. You just never know about a catastrophic injury to a city employee. But that also then frees up that difference between $800,000 and the $1.2 million that's in the account now. So that would be $400,000 source if we decided to use it for that.
Beyond the truck that you're waiting on right now, do you know when the last time, any of you guys know when the last time y'all bought a new fire truck?
It was a used one that was purchased last year.
Yeah, right. In 2022, we bought a used truck that happened to come available. We paid $205,000 for that used truck. It needed some work, but that work has been done now, and it's been put into service. But that was done about the middle of 2022.
That's all the questions I have about that.
Okay.
Let me reiterate a few things on this too. We're talking about our reserve funds, and we are very, we want to do everything we can to build those reserve funds and not dip into them. It's important when a city is facing the type of infrastructure issues that we have within the city, aging buildings, aging equipment, and things of that such. We need to be proactive in building capital funds. So we will be very aggressive in looking for grant dollars and other ways to fund the truck. Again, we have until August 2023 to make the payment for that truck. So I'm always cautioning and encouraging the council for us to be more proactive in building our capital reserves. That way it avoids us taking out bonds or loans the work that we do, like within the streets, the payment back on some of those things will last longer than the streets will. I mean, that's just not good business sense, really, to do those types of things. And I know we find ourselves in situations sometimes when we have to do loans and things that we would rather not, but just let me reiterate the fact that we are going to do everything we can not to dip into reserves. It's good to know that we have them there in case we do, but we're going to be very aggressive in finding and the fire department has done an outstanding job in their grant searches that they've been very successful. The truck that I went out with last year, that this truck will mirror, when I went out with them to actually design that truck, I was very impressed with the team that went from the fire department, their knowledge. We have, firefighters there that help maintain those vehicles. I'm very proud of the efforts of our fire department in trying to be as, they've been very helpful to the city over the years with budget cuts and things. They've been very proactive in seeking out grant dollars and stuff, and we will continue to do that and help them in that process as well. Any other questions or?
You had mentioned the fraudulent animal control truck. Do you know, is this limited to a specific area of town? Has it been seen more than once?
I know of one time it was seen, it's been seen twice. The first time was actually near Sandfield Cemetery, correct?
The first time was actually at my house. I thought they were a Columbus Lake water truck, and it turned out to be an animal control. It said animal control down the back and the sides. I did call 911. I was not able to get a plate. I have not seen them back since, but we have had calls that animals are coming missing in the city.
Yes.
So we just wanted everybody to be aware that we're not.
Where was the second sighting, do you know?
The very first sighting actually was over here, down 7th Street, I believe it was.
7th Street South?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she's one of our animal control officers is reporting that the vehicle has been seen twice in the last week, 2 weeks?
Well, the first time it was about a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
And then nobody had seen it since, and then it showed up last week at my house.
Okay. So this has been going on for, over a month or two.
Yes.
So what we're asking is, and it hasn't been seen since last week?
Not that we know of.
Okay, not that we've been reported. So actually, if people will just keep an eye open, and if they see anything that looks like a truck that has animal control on the side of it, again, our vehicles, the city vehicles, do not have that on the side of the trucks. They don't look like the picture that we showed up or the picture that we're going to put on Facebook. Just be aware, and for pet owners, to keep an extra eye on your pets in case something like this is going on in the city.
That's all, Brian?
Nobody's filed a police report about this though, saying that they thought their pet was stolen by the false animal control truck that you know of.
We have not gotten any reports stating that anybody's filed a report. 911 did issue a BOLO for it, but we haven't heard any more information on it at this point.
One last question before we
Yes.
go,
Mm-hmm.
unrelated to the council meeting. Can you give an update on your police chief search committee meeting?
Yes, we met yesterday, Tuesday, with our 10-member search committee. We narrowed the candidates down to 8. Next Tuesday afternoon, we will begin Zoom interviews with at least half of these candidates. So we feel like we're moving in a good direction. We announced that we hope to have a decision made by no later than the end of November. We were pleased with the quality of the candidates that we have, and I have said on more than one occasion how much I appreciate the search committee. I think we have a well-rounded search committee that's been doing their due diligence, and they've taken this very seriously. We are also listening to citizens. I've had several citizens that have visited with me personally about their ideas of what they think we should be looking for. We encourage citizens to continue to reach out. This is one of the most important decisions that we will make. As everybody knows, it is not easy working in law enforcement anywhere in the country these days. We are pleased that in this budget process, we were able to increase the salary, the pay of bring all the officers up, but have a more competitive salary in place. We put a more competitive salary in place for the next chief, and we're excited that the process is moving. And we will continue to meet each Tuesday going forward until a decision is made.
And that was on the last question for the day that I've got is it too early to estimate how long this will take? Or when would we have a new chief? Is it too early to?
Well, we're saying that we foresee having an answer no later than the end of November, hopefully sooner.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's all we got?
All right, thanks, everybody.